I like to do just salt and pepper. So I have some kosher salt. You can use sea salt. Iodized salt gives it a little bit of a chemical flavor to it, so go with a cleaner salt. It just gives you a more natural flavor. And then a little bit of black pepper, and do that on both sides. And season it well. That's one of the big things, misnomers. People say, "Well, how come my steak is so good at the restaurant?" It's because they use a lot of salt, and the meat and the fat will absorb all that flavor in. And then we're going to use a little bit of olive oil, and just pour maybe a teaspoon on that one side, and we're going to rub it. We're going to turn it over, rub it on the bottom of the plate. We don't want it swimming in oil. And then there's some of that residual oil on the bottom. The steak has a decent amount of fat into it, so as soon as that hits the grill and that warmth starts to come through, that fat will come out and basically give us the nice caramelization. And you need a little bit of fat on there to start the cooking process, which is going to give you those nice grill marks, because it's basically a conduit from the grill to your steak to make sure that you get those nice marks on it. Okay? And then we're going to take a step over here and do basically the same principle to our lobster tail. We're going to add a little bit of butter. So we have whole butter, and I just melted it in the microwave. You can do it on the stovetop if you choose. And make sure that you leave the fat in there. You want to get some of that fat on, because that's where a lot of that flavor is, the milk solids. And then we're going to brush that on. And we're going to put on this one, we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to put the oil on first, which is basically our butter, so that it doesn't wash away our salt and our pepper. So we have a little bit of salt, and this can use a little bit less salt than your steak, just for the fact that seafood typically has a little bit saltier of a flavor to it. It's natural and will absorb a lot more of it. And the meat is usually a little bit more mild. And then we've got our salt, our pepper, our butter, and then we're going to use a little bit of paprika. So you can use whatever brand of paprika you have. And this really doesn't give a whole bunch of flavor, but it will give you that nice color. So when you're at a restaurant and your lobster has that really nice pink look to it. Okay, so we're going to get ready to grill our steaks. There's two other quick tips that you need about grilling. So having a really clean grill. So we've got it cleaned off, and we're going to want to put just a little bit of oil on there. That will wipe off any excess dirt that's on there, any excess grill stuff, and will help to keep it from sticking as much. And then you want to have your grill hot. So this is an inside grill, so we have it set all the way to high. Same thing on your outside grill. Just put it on high, and you know that there's going to be some hot spots and some cool spots in your grill, and you know your grill better than I do. But you want to put the steaks to start with on the hottest portion of your grill, because that's really going to give it the nice marks that you're looking for. And just put both both steaks down, and you just want to let them sit there. It's probably going to take about 6 to 8 minutes on each side. So after about 3 minutes, we put it on a little bit of an angle here, because the grill underneath is going to give it that hatch mark. So we set it at a 90-degree angle, both of them. After 3 minutes, we're going to turn it 90 degrees the other direction, just like this. So once it has the nice marks on it, we're going to turn it at 90 degrees to give the marks underneath. We're going to flip it over. We're going to cook it to about 125 degrees. Internal temperature is going to give us a nice medium rare. If you're looking for medium, about 130, 132 degrees. And well done, you want to cook it to about 160, 165 degrees. Okay, so we've had our lobster in the oven for about 7 minutes now, and it is ready to go. So you can see that it's turned nice and white. The paprika's given it that nice color, because otherwise it would just be that opaque white that you see here on the front. And it's not translucent at all. It's nice and white all the way through the flesh. If you're really nervous about it, you can potentially do a cut in there, but then what that's going to do is let some of that liquid come out, so you're not going to have quite the same eating experience. But once you see that nice bright color and you see the brown on it, then it should be good to go. And so if you're not able and you don't have a grill in your house and you don't want to go outside and stand in the cold, you can use a cast iron or a heavy bottom saute pan. Just a little bit of oil in the bottom. You want to make sure that your pan is really good and hot, because that's what's going to give you the sear. And then you want to hear this noise. So we see the smoke coming off of the oil, which is great. That means that it's good and hot. And we're going to get that nice sear sound. So when we do it in this cast iron skillet, we're going to want to let it go probably about 5 to 6 minutes on each side, just like we would on the grill. Turn it over, and then cook it another 4 to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so it's about 10 to 12 minutes on there, and it'll be perfect. So our steak is all ready to go, and our lobster tail is all ready to go. And then what I would typically serve this with at home is some nice steamed asparagus, and you can do a little bit of roasted red skin potato or roasted Yukon potato. Those are very easy. If you have your oven on for the broil, you just put them in the oven, a little bit of salt, pepper, olive oil, roast them till they're nice and tender through. The asparagus, gain a little bit of boil.